Hi there, you're watching the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the lower garden and we're going to do a 1st of June garden tour. So from this point until fall, we'll be doing 2 garden tours, our home garden tour per month because so many things are going on that I'm splitting the garden in half. So we're gonna go through the lower garden and the front yard today. So starting here in the mermaid garden, and then which is shade, and then it's mostly all in shade until we hit the herb garden, and that's in full sun, and then the whole upper and front yard garden is in full sun. As a reminder, I live on the Oregon coast in a zone 9A. We are in a very temperate climate. We rarely get above 80 degrees in any given year, but our average summer temperatures are around 65 to 71. And then even in the wintertime, we don't really drop very low. We'll sometimes get some snow, maybe an ice storm, but generally speaking, our winters are only at like 35 to 40 degrees in the evening. So we don't have a huge swing in our temperatures all year long. So we have a lot of perennials that stay evergreen. So everything kind of always looks green around here. But this time of year, everything's really waking up and starting to bloom. So exciting. Let's get the camera turned around and take a walk. We're gonna start here at the gazebo. We built this last year and we filmed it so you could see how we built it and put the little pad there. I just want to point out that these roses are absolutely loving their lives. And look at this one. Oh my gosh. But tons of blooms already starting. And my hydrangea hedge all has leafed out, which is exciting because those were discount hydrangeas and they're little tiny babies. So I'm glad to see that they survived. I have another rose over here. It's a different variety and it is not as happy here. So I may be replacing it this summer, maybe with another one of those, and they'll just be matchy match. This is the top of our mermaid garden and the mulch has kind of smeared. We have 2 different color mulches and this one has faded and this one's kind of blown around, so you can't really see the definition of the mermaid shape right now, but we'll get it back there in time. Here we have an anemone that came back. We have a mock orange shrub that's looking really great. Our little baby rhodie is getting eaten to bits by earwig, so I need to take care of that. We have a couple of hostas that are just starting to show up, and then we have a peanut butter tree or Mexican hydrangea, and she's getting her leaves. The leaves of this plant smell like a fresh jar of peanut butter, which is amazing. And then the flowers will have a little white flower and they smell like jasmine, which is super cool. All right, we have a dogwood here and then another hosta underneath. Let's swing over here into the creek area. The thundercloud plum looks fabulous. But I wanted to show you my skunk cabbage. Look how big they are. Aren't they so fun? These plants right here, the little rosettes of giant leaves, those are skunk cabbage in among all the ferns and Gualtheria. We have a couple of dogwoods in here. I planted this willow right here last summer and it has tripled in size, which is fun to see. Look at that skunk cabbage. Oh my goodness, it's huge. Okay, anyway, let's keep going up this way. The Gunnera is getting quite large already. Looking fabulous. We've got a 9-bark here. It's starting to show some blooms or some buds. So that'll be exciting when that opens up pretty soon. And then we have another 9-bark here, which is a couple years older. I've never seen this one bloom, so maybe it's a male or a female. I don't know. Anyway, okay, we have hostas. So many hostas. Most of them doing pretty well. Lots of heuchera starting to bloom. You can see their little bloom stalks coming up. The Saxifraga has all come into bloom. You could see they're really sweet, airy blooms, which I just love. It's much needed this time of year. More heuchera starting to bloom. Things are looking fairly good over here. We have the false Solomon seal ground cover all blooming, and we have several buds on this new rhodie that we planted this spring, and our big old rhodie has blooms all over it on the sunny side, and on the shade side she'll start blooming a little bit later. Just keep going. Would you look at there's a daisy and a buttercup blooming in the compost pile. Okay, so what else is going on? I don't think the dogwood was leafed out on our last video, but there she is, looking beautiful. The Jacob's ladder is blooming. So cute. And then our monk's hood came back, so that's exciting. Of course, we've got hostas in these pots that look great. We have Solomon seal, not the false Solomon seal. That's false Solomon seal. This is true false Solomon seal, I guess. But you can see their little dangly blooms. They're so cute. I just love them. So that's all looking good, and the hydrangea is huge. Same with that one, looking gorgeous. We've got a juga in bloom everywhere, giving us a nice, beautiful carpet. We've got horsetail growing all in here. Horsetail can be invasive in our area. It is also medicinal, and I enjoy the texture. It is also medicinal, and I use a lot of it. So Spencer and I made the agreement that it can't live anywhere else in the garden, but it can live underneath these rhodies, and so that I can harvest it for medicine. You can see she's starting to open, and then the juga is blooming. It's pretty much the same color, purple. Of course, I have some buttercup blooming that we need to get in here and remove, because those are also invasive. This is a pink flowering dogwood that has grown quite a bit. Looks great. I have another skunk cabbage here that's giant. We still have some primroses peeking out with a little bit of color here and there. And then our lilies have popped up, not quite blooming yet, but they're all up, so that's exciting. I have a foxglove here starting to bloom. This little patch of foxglove has been here for 3 years now, and so I think that might be why that's a little bit ahead of all the other foxgloves. I'm gonna swing around and get into the medicine garden. I'm gonna go pretty quick on this because there's so much to look at up there, and I don't want this video to be forever long. Okay, we have the weeping birch, And it's just a little baby, which is, it seems so funny because my cranesbill geranium right here, this whole plant is as tall as my tree right now, which I think is hilarious. I have some clematis blooming up there. Those blooms are a little bit spent, but it has been blooming for quite some time and looks super fantastic. And then the bronze fennel has come back for the third year in a row. Our lavenders came back pretty good, 4 out of 5. I was trying to hope for this one, but I've given up on it, and then I pulled this one because it just definitely did not make it. But that's okay. I'll just try again, plant some more because I love lavender, just determined. We've got a little patch of the Brunnera, and it is in bloom. I adore those little blue flowers. They're so sweet. In the medicine garden, really quick, we have celosia that we just planted, artemisia that wintered over, thyme that wintered over. We have got a patch of sedum. We've got some echinacea that I just planted, lovage that wintered over and is looking fantastic. Tons of walking Egyptian onions starting to head up. The yarrow just came into bloom just in the last day or so. The comfrey has been in bloom for about a week, and I need to get in there and cut it back. More geranium up there. We have 3 blueberry bushes, and look, the berries are already starting to form. Chives in bloom. Verbena everywhere, not blooming yet. We've got a few other plants in here that we just recently planted. A squash. More blueberries. Woo-hoo. And our strawberry tower is looking absolutely beautiful. It is just going for it. We come out here and turn it a quarter turn every day. Obviously the pansies are loving it. Loving it so much that I need to come in and do a little pruning on them so that they stay nice and bushy. But the strawberries are all getting flowers and berries on it. It won't be long before we get to start eating them. All right, let's pop up this way. Oh, look, I'm seeing more blooming activity up there, and then this one is always the last one, and I see they're starting to break open up there. Okay, up front we've got another hosta that came up looking gorgeous. Just swing around here real quick. This is our little evergreen that we recently planted, still doing pretty good. The pampas looks great. Our Kniphofia is time to cut back the flower stalks. There's still a couple new blooms. This Russian sage came back, but this one did not, so I have a replacement for it. We've recently planted supertunias out there. They're doing great. The grasses are doing great. We have some coral berries. We have the Proven Winners coral berry and a native coral berry right there. They both came up and leafed out and look terrific. Okay, get out of the sun and you can see things a little bit better in the shade. Okay, so Rose Campium is all throwing up their stalks, not quite ready to bloom, but it won't be long. Tons of native Shasta daisies that are coming into bloom here, and I just love that the little lawn daisies are also in bloom at the same time. Really fun. Barberry leafed out. We've got, we planted this guy recently. It's doing pretty good. It's put on a little bit of new growth. And I always forget these things. This is the goat's beard. All came up. There's another variety all in here. You can see the columbine looks terrific. We have both the red columbine. It has a yellow center. That's so sweet. And we have a dark blue right here. Oh, it's not focusing. We have a purple. It's like purple and pink, which is really fun. And then we have a purple and yellow. And a white. We have one allium that came up. And then we have this, we've got the Libertia grandiflora here, and then we have the staghorn sumacs all leafing out, looking fabulous. I'm just gonna do a little scan of the garden, and all of the color and texture is happening. So much fun. We'll keep going. This front row, the Caenomales has been blooming since March, maybe late April, and it is still putting out new buds, flowers, just so much fun. The snow and summer is all in bloom. These sedums, both the sedums are in bloom. The Carya japonica continues to just have little pops of yellow blossoms. And then the blue-eyed grass, I have two patches. One right here, it's getting its blooms, and there's one over there. I do have yellow-eyed grass over there, but I haven't seen the yellow open yet. Okay, the Rose of Sharons have put on a ton of leafy growth, and that's the one we recently transplanted. It's looking pretty happy over there. Our black lace elderberry is looking gorgeous. And then you can see a little sneak peek into here. That big patch right there is forget-me-nots. I love it. Most years it has really bad powdery mildew, but we've had a really dry spring, and I mean, considering, and it's just looking so good. Our hydrangeas all leafed out, not ready to bloom yet. Okay, let's go ahead. Zigzag, I guess, is what we're doing today. In the front here, I do have, well, let's start here. We've got the lovey-dovey Supertunia. We have some lady's mantle, some irises. We have Mr. Lincoln is starting to bloom. We have some gladiolas starting to come up. This is the jazzberry Supertunia. We've got a vermillionaire right there blooming. Our crocosmia is all leafed out, ready to get going for the season. We've got a couple of dahlias that are already up, which is really exciting. And then over in this section, I've got, is this the hoopla? No. I don't remember what this one is. Something. It's a Supertunia. And then we have the pink provision salvia. We've got some purple sage. Our lemon balm is gone crazy. And then we've got some marshmallow right here. Oh my gosh, it's so soft. I always forget how soft it is. We've got another Supertunia, which I don't remember the name of this one either. This is a pink verbena. It is a superbena from Proven Winners, and it wintered over, but you could see it is getting ready to bloom like crazy, though it has a bunch of like dead wood in there. So, okay, sure. This is the Hoopla Vivid Orchid, Supertunia, and then there's some snapdragons in there. There's also a vermillionaire that wintered over right there, leafing out, and then we have this gorgeous Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Oregano. I just love this ornamental oregano so much. It's so beautiful. All right. What else? Keep going. More Ajaga all in bloom right here, and then our Lithadora is in bloom. All three patches are looking really great. You know, our Veronica is up and starting to bud, and then I always forget the name of this. Oh, look at this! It was blooming just earlier today. It looks like it's gonna bloom some more pretty soon. I'm trying to find an open bloom. They may be closed up for the evening. I'm not sure how that plant works, but let's see. We've got several dahlias starting to pop up, several lilies starting to pop up. The sunflowers have started to bloom back there. We've got hollyhocks that I just planted in little groupings. They are seeming to do well. They're to their new spot. And then our rose garden is blooming. It's so pretty. Look at this. I love this rose. And I planted this rose just so it can show off with this rhododendron. This rhododendron is a deciduous rhododendron that smells divine. It's a little spent. These have been blooming for like a week and a half, so it's caught some rain. This is the I'm sorry, it's not a rhododendron, it's an azalea. Focusing. Anyway, and then we have an old-fashioned rose back there that's all budded up. We have a climbing rose here that's all budded up. Oh, I can't wait. And this rose has a bunch of new growth. We've got another blue columbine. Look at this thing. It's just gorgeous. And another rose right here. Isn't that so pretty? I think this is the fire and ice. I'll have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure. So pretty. And then we have another rose right here that's starting to color up, and then this climbing rose is a pinky red one that's got some color on it. Then we have lovey-doveys in those containers panning around. The lilies have gotten tall. The daylilies are all budded up, so any day now I'm gonna start having daylilies. This rhodie has finished her cycle and is looking a little sad and dropping her petals, so she'll have to get cleaned up pretty soon. And then in the privet grove, these are all privets. They need to be trimmed yet again. And we've got some blue star creeper. I should point that out. Did you notice all of these white blooms all in here? All this ground cover in bloom. It's been in bloom for quite a while, so I kind of I just see it and not see it anymore, you know? But you could see how beautiful this carpet of white blossoms are. And they're just the sweetest, cutest little flowers. Okay, back up to Privet Grove. The lemony lace is looking good, but the other piece of it is getting buried underneath all this pearly everlasting. So in the next week or so, I'm going to come and take all this pearly everlasting out, move it somewhere else, and just let it be over there. So we have a little hosta here, a little hosta here, hosta here, and then would you look at this hosta? It is gorgeous this year, and it's starting to bloom. Look at that. So much fun. And there's another hosta there. That's the forget-me-nots that I was pointing out from the other side of the hedge. And then we have bleeding hearts that have been blooming, and they're starting to set their seed. So this is what their seed looks like. And I just let it self-seed in here because I would love to just have, you know, a bunch of them everywhere, and I can always dig them up and divide them and move them into other shady areas of the garden, because everyone knows I have plenty of shade everywhere. So, what else? More rose campion getting ready to bloom. The jasmine is all budded up, not quite ready to go for it, but it is getting, it's gonna cover that trellis this year, I think. I kind of have plans to move it, but we'll see how far I get. And then this rose is also in bloom. Beautiful, so beautiful. And I still have a table full of shrubs and trees that need to be planted, and a few perennial or annuals that also need to be planted. We're getting there. There's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so many hours that I can dedicate to the garden. So we're moving as quickly as we can, getting everything out into the garden. Still have the goal of getting all the seedlings in the next week. You will be seeing this on the 2nd of June, but because we are expecting a bunch of rain this coming week, I'm doing this video early, so it's actually, you know, 5 days. I still have 5 days left, or I still have 4 days left in May to try to get the rest of my seedlings out. And we do have like one cloudy day and one sort of sunny day coming up, but it's supposed to rain pretty hard tomorrow, and there's so many beautiful things in bloom. I just wanted to share them with you now while they look good, because it's been sunny for several days. And like my roses will just look like trash after tomorrow's storm, and then it'll be, you know, 3 weeks or something before we get nice beautiful roses again. So I just wanted to share the garden with you while everything looked fresh and clean, but I still have close to a week, you know, like a work week to get things into the garden to meet my goal. I mean, it's just my own personal goal. There's no rhyme or reason other than I just need to get things out of the greenhouse. It is definitely getting a lot harder to keep them happy in there, because it's just getting too warm and they have too many roots and too small of a space. Anyway, this is gonna be it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you're celebrating your life, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.